Yes, we're very pleased with our half-year results. I think no matter what metric you looked at, basically growth was our key topic there. Our revenue grew, our EBITDA grew, our earnings per share, our profit, and our cash. So overall, very, very good results. And we came off of a very, very tough compare for last year as well. So last year, first half was a record year for us. So to actually exceed those numbers was quite an achievement. Very proud of it. So Focusrite is a company that makes technology for audio recording and for musicians to create music. And we have a portfolio of brands that cater to different parts of the market. So anybody who actually just has an interest in learning how to create audio, they could be doing blogs, or they could just want something to enhance their audio for their computer in terms of their gaming system. For people who want to create music, they may just be a latent songwriter that wants to have some fun with this, all the way to the professional, somebody that wakes up every morning and basically makes their earning from either creating audio or creating music for a film or TV or for an album project. So it's a pretty wide portfolio of products, and it's a combination of hardware and software that we offer that basically allows somebody pretty much to take one of our boxes and connect it to their computer and start creating audio immediately. Like everything, the way people create audio, the way they create music has evolved dramatically over the years. So if you just go back, 15 or 20 years, the basic structure was if you wanted to create any kind of audio, whether it was a song or a soundtrack, or if you just want to record a voiceover for something, you rented a big studio where they had really big mixing consoles and big tape machines and lots of outboard gear and engineers that knew how to run it all. And that was basically the way the world worked. As computers became more and more affluent in the industry, suddenly it was possible for you to create that quality audio with a lot more capabilities with a laptop. And so that's naturally just continued to increase. And so what's been very interesting is that today, with one of our products, somebody can be in their bedroom studio and actually create something that is pretty much on par with what you could get out of a large facility. The big facilities still thrive and stuff because of the space. If you're recording an orchestra or a band, you need that type of thing. And the expertise in terms of how you record, the engineers with all the know-how, how you mic, what kind of mics you need, that's still there. But the other interesting part about it is if you look at our Novation brand. Novation is all about electronic music. And we make that distinction because the genesis of electronic music is very different than the songwriter who typically would sit down with his guitar or the piano and kind of stamp out a tune and create a melody and create a song. A lot of electronic music is actually created by taking little snippets, or loops we call them, of music that was recorded. It could have been back in the 20s or 30s, or it could have been some sound you found that was interesting in the city and put on your iPhone. The artist takes all these different sounds, brings them into a computer environment, and manipulates them in different ways to create something unique. And so what's very interesting about that, and as that's become more of a mainstay genre of music, it's democratized our industry quite a bit. Because basically now you don't have the need to actually know how to play an instrument or any kind of innate ability to sing or something like that. So there's a whole crop of new people that are coming into the industry going, I'm really into music. I'm not sure if I want to sit down and learn scales on a piano, but I love electronic music. And this, by the nature of the genre and the tools that are available, it's opened up the world pretty much to anybody to actually have an experience with that. Well, there's certainly no shortage of noise with a lot of just the global issues that we see going on. The Brexit certainly is something that we keep looking at here, trying to figure out what's going to happen, and kind of war planning. What should we do? I think our stance is we're going to hold tight. We've got the right plans in place, for different things, but until something actually happens, we feel like we're good. The China and U.S. thing has been very disruptive to the business, and in terms of actions there, when the tariffs came into place, we did raise our prices because we felt like we wanted to protect our margins. And that has actually worked out well for us. But as you know, there's potential for tariffs to go up again. And at some point, they get to a point, or they could get to a point where they could have an impact on people's buying decisions. So things like that are the most important. I think in terms of other things as a technology company, we just have to be aware of the environment we're in. Specs are constantly changing. I mean, the laptop you have today has a very different set of connectivity than the one that you bought a year ago, and the one you buy next year will. These are things that we have to stay on top of. Obviously, all the operating systems. I mean, one of the real pieces of magic with our system is not the beautiful hardware, which is really nice, but it's all the stuff that goes under the hood with that, all the drivers and things that we do, so that if you're an absolute beginner or a professional, when you take one of our hardware units and you install it, the connection, the way it actually flows, the audio flows to the laptop, everything, it's first class. You don't have any problems with that. That is not an easy undertaking, and it's something that we just have to be mindful of. Our growth strategy is basically comprised of three specific elements. The first is our base. We've done very well in our core group, and we want to continue that. So a part of that is not standing still. It's making sure that we continue to innovate, that we look at new things that are coming from other technology streams that could benefit us, and making sure we're keeping up with that, and also that we're also spending some R&D and time and thinking about what technologies, what could be disruptive to our business. I mean, our kind of mantra is if somebody's going to disrupt our industry, we want to be the ones to do it. So that's a big part, is making sure that we continue to grow and refine our customer base. The second part of our strategy is all really about lifetime value for our customers. A big focus for us going forward is making sure that when you buy one of our products, the bundled content, you get the whole experience, beginning to end, whether you're an absolute beginner or you're a professional. The content is catered to you, the experience is catered to you. The whole thing just is elegant and makes you want to actually create audio or create music and have some fun. We take that as a big ownership for us, and if we do it right, what it should mean is that our customers will continue to come back to Focusrite for more and more of the value chain. And then our last piece of our growth strategy is around just expansion. We see that in kind of two prongs. There's lots of other verticals inside our little industry that we believe we've earned the right to compete in, if you will. So things that are very close to the apple trees, we say. Microphones, speakers, other pieces of hardware that people need to complement their system. Those are areas that we're exploring and looking into. And then there's geographic expansion. We see a lot of markets and regions that are quite honestly underserved by the market, where there's large populations. We know there's an innate desire to do music, but technology hasn't really taken off there. So we're actually taking an ownership in a lot of those markets to make sure that we have a localized experience for those customers to grow that market as well. So that's basically our growth strategy. It's very simple, those three things. I came on board in January of 17. We spent some time refining that. The great news is over the past couple of years, we haven't changed dramatically. Those have remained core to us, and they've actually worked well and served us well. So we have talked very open about M&A. It's something that I think in the past the company took a very sort of reactive stance. If somebody called us up on the phone, we would entertain the idea. I think what's changed is over the past couple of years that as we look for ways to continue to grow the business at the rate we've done, the idea of expanding into other verticals just makes sense. But we want to do it in a very smart and methodical way. And so the things that we're looking for, criteria, well-run companies, things that are adjacent to what we do, that complement what we do. So the idea of if you're using one of our audio interfaces, we know that a lot of those customers are also investing in lots of different software tools. We also know that many of them are buying recording studio monitors specifically for this, and a lot of them need microphones as well. All these things in the value chain make sense to us. So it's a matter of actually looking and finding the right fit for us that we think that, you know, and honestly, what we would love to do is find a company that has strategically been doing the same thing we've been doing, which is essentially building a brand up in their kind of chosen space for a number of years, so that if you bolted the two on together, you end up with a very accretive offering.